Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the software that quietly runs some of the world's most critical server closets and remote sites.
We are. We're talking about the NTI E-MNG-0100.
Right, the enterprise management software layer for some pretty complex monitoring equipment.
And the mission of this deep dive is really to show you how a piece of highly specific software provides that centralized, unified control.
So we're talking about managing ENVIROMUX units.
Yeah, the ones that monitor things like temperature, humidity.
And the IPDU units, their intelligent power strips,
Yeah,
all through one graphical interface.
exactly. One intuitive interface.
And here's where it gets really interesting right out of the gate. The name. It's a complete misnomer.
It really is.
It's the E-MNG-0100, the Manage 100, right? But the documentation shows this application actually scales up to monitor and configure a whopping 3,000 specialized units.
A massive jump. It covers everything from the E2D, 5D, and 16D units all the way to those IPDU power units.
What's fascinating here is that this scale is married to efficiency through that centralized control.
That's the key. You are not logging into 3,000 separate web interfaces. The power is in managing these units individually or, more importantly, in big groups.
So if you're a system administrator, you could roll out a huge policy update, say new security settings, adding a dozen new users, changing the mail server.
You can push that change to every single unit in a group all at once.
But if you're making a change across 3,000 units at once, what's the risk there? I mean, is there a built-in rollback or is it a bit of a high-wire act?
That's a great question about deployment, but the focus here is really on that efficiency gain, minimizing those manual touch points.
Okay.
So if configuration is the speed, then data insight is the precision.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the software provides these detailed status displays for individual sensors. It lets managers create highly customized scrolling summary pages.
So you could track specific critical readings from units scattered all over the network, all in one place.
Exactly. And for auditing, that data insight goes deep.
It's not just real-time status.
Right. The sensor history graph provides readings from up to the last 120 days.
4 months. That's enough data to meet a lot of standard regulatory compliance requirements, so it's purpose-built for that kind of analysis.
It is. And technically, all of this is enabled by a pretty classic client-server architecture.
Okay, break that down.
The server application is the workhorse. It's out there actively polling all 3,000 units for their status and listening for any immediate alerts.
And the client application is what you, the user, interact with to see those statuses and push out the new configurations.
You got it. It all talks through that central server.
When you have that many units spread out, compatibility has to be everything.
And this software offers surprisingly broad multi-platform support. We're talking Windows from 2000 through 10, Windows Server, even Linux, Solaris, FreeBSD.
And older macOS versions too. But you do need Java Runtime Environment 1.5 or later.
Yes, but this is where the complexity really rears its head. For you, the listener, these next points are the critical caveats you have to know.
Uh-oh.
Specific hardware revisions matter intensely. For instance, the popular E2D unit is only compatible with this software if it is a Rev C model.
Wait, what? Rev C? So I have to check the back of the unit like I'm checking a vintage comic book for a specific publisher's seal?
You identify it by its two power inputs, but essentially, yes. It speaks to the challenges of supporting deeply integrated hardware.
That is an insane level of granularity for enterprise software.
And it gets more complex. If you're using the advanced cascade configuration that's linking multiple units together, this software is just incompatible.
So you can't use it at all in that case.
No. And furthermore, if you're managing the ECMS16U unit, you are locked into legacy software, version 2.7 or older, and an older version of Java.
Wow. So that forces IT teams to maintain an outdated and potentially less secure environment just to support one piece of hardware?
That's the reality.
That context is just vital. And speaking of context, this base E-MNG-0100 model is about $2,500.
It is, and if you need that full 3,000 unit capacity, you step up to the E-MNG-3000, which is priced around $7,500.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture,
I mean, the E-MNG suite provides powerful, scalable, unified control over a very diverse and specialized set of hardware. It simplifies a complex task into one interface.
Absolutely. It simplifies the front end, but for you, the learner, think about the operational challenge this reveals. You have one piece of mission-critical software where its functionality is dictated not just by the OS, but by knowing if your specific E2D unit has 2 power inputs or 1. How do you possibly standardize a global network when the hardware itself has such granular legacy compatibility issues? That's something to chew on.